What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fight Room. Now, in this episode, we're going into a fight analysis, and the fighters are Nieky Holzken and Raymond Daniels. This is a glory kickboxing event, and in this event, we're going to see a whole lot of striking, very little clenching because the emphasis is not on the clench. So whenever they get in that close range, they will be split apart so they can execute their strikes thoroughly. Now, the fight is getting started, and this is Nieky Holzken on this side. Over here, we have Raymond Daniels. So one thing about Raymond Daniels that we can know right off the bat is that he has a Taekwondo background. He wants a lot of space, and Nieky is going to cover that space because he doesn't want to let Daniel get a rhythm going, and he definitely doesn't want to eat any of those long kicks, those long traditional Taekwondo kicks. So you can see every time he's spinning, he's trying to get an attack off. Nieky Holzken is closing that distance. So right there, he was dropped by a liver shot. Let me rewind that. So they're exchanging here, and he hit him with a left liver shot. So that's going to drop him for a few seconds. Notice the distance. Nieky is trying to take away that so fast, and anytime that you have somebody in a real long stance that's trying to get off a lot of kicks, a really good thing is to pressure them so they can't get off their kicks. It's one way to shut down a Taekwondo practitioner's style, because again, what's the emphasis in Taekwondo? It's kicking. In karate, we have more of a hand emphasis, but with Raymond's stance, he's so bouncy and on the balls of his feet. Another thing that this is going to do within Raymond's stance is kind of wear him down, especially because he's getting pressed on his back heels and he's forced to fight going backwards. And this isn't going to be a good thing for his overall strategy. Now you can see Nieky continuing to move forward. He's so advanced, Nieky Holzken, in that he'll sometimes pepper his shots and then let off hard shots. So he'll go tap, 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 and then hard, hard, hard. So pay attention to that as this fight moves on. That was a nice knee by Raymond Daniels. Nieky has him pushed up against the wall. That's a very good spot for somebody who's very movement-based. Actually, it's a bad spot, but it's good for Nieky Holzken. He's taking away that space, taking away. Notice he's being dominant with his footwork. He's not moving back. He's the aggressor. He's moving forward. And this is very important when you're thinking about, you know, sparring or kickboxing and developing. That was a very nice back kick. Developing a strong, aggressive style. It takes a lot of heart to do that. And you have to be ready to take shots just like that when you're constantly moving forward. Notice that Nieky rarely takes a step back. He's constantly pushing forward, moving forward. Unless a strike lands, I don't really see him moving back too much. So it's that constant battle for footwork moving forward, at least in this fight. There's not a whole lot of circling. It's just who's going to hit each other first. And again, getting Raymond Daniels on his heels so he cannot have that athleticism and those kicks to fire off. Keeping good range right there, so that's going to end with round one. My internet connection's a little bit slow, so bear with me here. I want to try to get through this nice and quick. Watching some replays in slow motion. So that's the liver shot. Boom! That set him down. The liver is on the right side of the body, so your left hand is going to shoot up and target that shot. He's very well known for those liver shots, and when the fight moves on, you'll see his check hooks. So a check hook, when somebody's moving in at you and they're throwing punches, it's a hard left hook that you'll launch into a low kick typically. You might see that in the next coming rounds here. We're going to fast forward a little bit. All right, here we go, round two. So again, watch that battle of footwork that's happening between them. Pay attention to their guard. Notice the subtleties in the stance and what's happening here. Notice how Raymond has his hands down. He uses his feet almost as like a first line of defense. But when he gets pressured in, he's forced to keep his hands up because he has heavy shots coming at his body and at his hands, his head, excuse me, especially when he gets pushed up against the ropes. Now watch Nieky's guard. He has a nice tight high guard when he's moving into that mid-range, that war zone range, and he's letting off those strikes, letting off the low kicks, and boom, takes him down again. Pressure, it's hard to deal with. It's very difficult to try to adapt that within your own game, being a pressure fighter, because you are going to take damage when you first start getting into it. It just takes so much heart to move forward and to drive through those shots, even when you're getting hit time and time again, because he's taking shots and not clean, but when he is taking shots, you can see his hands come up into that high guard and he tightens his elbows, boom, here. So it's catching on his hands. Every single punch that Raymond is throwing isn't catching cleanly against his face. So the ref's gonna separate them. Again, that pressure, forward, forward, forward. Not taking any steps back, stalking. Hard knee, dropped him. Hard knee into a left hook. Beautiful execution. I think there's a 3 or 4 knockdown rule where if you get knocked down more than 3 times, you're done. So I think after this knockdown, they might be calling it soon. Flying knee. It's just those kicks that Raymond is throwing, they are taxing on your body. There's only so many that you can throw without just wiping your energy out. So they're wrapped up in the clinch here. The referee is going to separate them. So now they get back into that long and mid range where they're executing strikes. So they're moving here, keeping their hands up. And Nieky is such a good fighter to watch when it comes to that mid-range. That's something that you really want to think about when you're studying fighters, is the reason why you're studying them. He's so good in that pocket, comfortable in that pressure, especially where strikes are being executed from. And at this level, you often see when somebody throws a strike, somebody's going to answer it back right away with another strike of their own. So that's round 2, and we got one more round coming up, going into round 3. So he's one of my favorite fighters to watch, Nieky Holzken, in terms of that pressure, that forward movement, that stalking, using his footwork to advance forward and wrap his opponent in the ropes if he can, and really be comfortable in that mid-range. It's a very, very difficult place to get to, but when you could sit down with your chin tucked and your hands up and you're ready to take some damage and to give some damage, it's very difficult to deal with that, especially when somebody's firing something and they don't really flinch. Like, you could tell when this guy gets hit, he's just ready for it. He's putting his hands up, he's gonna let the shots come in, and then he's gonna answer back with something really strong. So here we go. Last and final round. Raymond Daniels back to that bouncy stance, that taekwondo stance where he's moving forward and back, bouncing on the balls of his feet. Notice whenever he's trying to move around the ring, he stands very, very tall. That was a good back kick right there. Nice pop back kick. He's smiling. So the ref considered that a knockdown. Again, that forward pressure. Watch the pressure. Watch the footwork. And it's nothing fancy that Nieky is doing. It's constant moving forward. It's cutting these angles. It's fairly basic for the most part. I don't see him switching a whole lot of stance, shifting in this fight. But what he's doing is in advance in the way that he's able to push past shots coming at him and to apply pressure constantly, keep moving back, forward, forward, forward. Look at all those strikes that he just took. He's still moving forward. Now he got him up against the ropes where he can't really use that footwork. Now he's going to drop him right here. And I'm pretty sure that's the end of the fight. So yeah, guys, there you go. I believe Raymond Daniels is fighting in Bellator MMA now. So he switched up his styles a little bit. He's an excellent Taekwondo practitioner that found a way to implement that within his kickboxing career and his MMA career. And Nieky Holzken, he's a professional boxer. He has a Dutch kickboxing background. And one of his head trainers was Raymond Daniels. Raymond Daniels was a badass Muay Thai fighter. He was known for his pressure fighting as well and being super fierce. So that's really it, guys. This is my first fight analysis, my first breakdown. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you got something out of it. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for joining me in the fight room. I'll see you next time.